Super Rescue. The two diesels surveyed the shed.
It's time, 7101, said one, that we took this railway over.
Just 199.
It's their railway after all.
Not for long, persisted 199.
After all, our controller says that steam engines spoil our image.
Of course we do, snapped Doug. We show what frauds you are. Call yourselves engines. If anything happens, you care nothing for your train and just moan for a fitter. We bring it home, if only a one cylinder.
Nothing,
boasted 199,
ever happens to us. We are reliable.
Vulgar noises greeted it.
How rude.
You asked for it, growled 101.
Now shut up.
Next day, Henry was rolling home, tender first. I'm a failed engine, he mourned. Lost my regulator. Driver says it's jammed wide open, and he can't mend it till I'm cool. However, he went on, I've still got steam, and driver can use my reverser, but it would happen after Duck fooled me with those tenders. Now that laugh at me again. He reached a signal box and stopped, whistling for a road. Opposite the box on the upline was 199, with a train of oil tankers. Worse and worse, thought Henry. Now old Reliable will laugh at me too. The signalman came out.
For pity's sake, take this spam can away. It's failed. The limited's behind. All he does is well for his fitter.
Spam can, fumed 199.
I'm stow it,
snapped the signalman.
I'll take my tin can opener to you. Now then.
199 subsided at this dreadful threat, and Henry pulled the train out of the way. The diesel didn't help. He just sulked. The limited rushed by with a growl and a roar. Henry gave a chuckle. Look, Spam Can, he said. There's your little pal. The diesel said nothing. He hoped that 7101 had not noticed. 7101 hadn't noticed, and he had troubles of his own. He was cross with the coaches. They seemed to be getting heavier and heavier. He roared at them, but it did no good. Engines have a pump called an ejector, which draws out air out of the train's brake pipes to keep the brakes off. If this fails, air leaks in and the brakes come on. Gently at first, then harder and harder. 7101's ejector had failed. The brakes were already leaking on while he passed Henry. He struggled on for half a mile before being brought to a stand, growling furiously, unable to move a wheel. Well, did you hear what the signalman said his driver. I thought they'd be laughing at me, chuckled Henry. Joke's on them. Moving 2 dead diesels in their trains, said his driver thoughtfully. That's no joke for a failed engine. Do you think you could do it? I'll give it a good try, said Henry, with spirit. Anyway, 7101 is better than old Spam Can here. He did try to shut him up last night. Come on then, said his driver. We mustn't keep the passengers waiting. Get moving, you! Puffed Henry, the sulky diesel into motion, and he started to the rescue. Henry gently buffed up to the express, while the two drivers talked. His fireman joined his front brake pipe to the coaches.
It's better than we thought, Henry,
said his driver. The diesel can pull if we keep the brakes off, so we only have to take the weight of the goods train. Whoosh, said Henry. That's a mercy. He was now feeling rather puffed. Poop, poop, poop. Are you ready? Tooted 7101. Beep, beep, beep. Yes, I am, whistled Henry. So with 7101 growling in front and Henry gamely puffing in the middle, the long cavalcade set out for the big station. Donald and Coronation were waiting. They cheered as Henry puffed past. He braked the coaches thankfully. Spam Can and the tankers were trailed far behind. The passengers buzzed out like angry bees, but the Fat Controller told them about Henry, so they forgot to be cross and thanked Henry. Instead, they called him an enterprising engine and took his photograph. They were thrilled too when Coronation backed down onto their train. If the guard hadn't tactfully shooed them into the coaches. The train wouldn't have started later than ever. Donald took the goods. Return 199 to the other railway, ordered the Fat Controller. I will write my views later. Henry and 7101 went away together. I'm sorry about last night, ventured the Diesel. That's all right. You did shut up, old Reliable. And, said the Diesel ruefully, made a fool of myself today.
Rubbish!
A failed ejector might happen to anyone. I lost my regulator. You failed! Exclaimed the Diesel. And yet, his voice trailed away in admiration. Well, said Henry, emergency, you know. Trains must get through. 7101 said no more. He had a lot to think about.